we would go back to the drawing board and we need to make edits. And so that's a little bit on the business policy.
So I make a motion that we table voting on this item until the board has had a chance to review both of them and have a discussion on this item. Second, all in favor of tabling this item with the proper review at the point? Unanimous. Thank you, Dr. Taylor. Appreciate all y'all's work on that. Just to
Okay, the next up is our budget reading. So basically the first version of the budget, let me tell you a little bit about the process. So we looked at our staffing projections for next year and put that in a beautiful spreadsheet. And then Varus, our accountant, sends us a draft budget over that we can fill in numbers for if there's any wiggle room. You'll notice in the OneDrive, the things that are yellow, I felt like there was some room on, and that's why I highlighted them. So I want you to take a look at the yellow sections. I also want you to know this is draft one. Ashley and I developed this together with Varus's help, and then she went back to Varus last Friday after I submitted it to you, and they actually gave us a little bit more revenue, so I updated that in your OneDrive. And so I haven't maxed us out on our budget, which means there is a lot of excess money in this version. I plan to allocate that to places once we get a little bit closer because the new spending we were just made aware of. So reading one, I'd like you to go to look at the sections that are highlighted. Come with questions next time so we can talk about them. And Ashley, Serpy, and I are going to come next time with our list of all the things project-wise we want to do, so you can kind of know where those projects fit in this current budget. So we've got a couple more meetings on this, but this will get you started. Okay? You're welcome. Yeah, the two other voting items are somewhat simple. Sarah actually took the lead on both of these items, so I'll let her explain that to you.
Hi, good evening again, guys. So the first item that we have is the school affiliated materials policy. This came about, as you know, we have about 6 different bulletin boards across our campus, usually near student restrooms as kind of information hubs. I've been getting a lot of requests from outside organizations that post within the school. And in an effort not to show favoritism, pick Pounds Lake Swim Team over Vermont, all of these kind of things, I really wanted to propose a policy that was just only HCA affiliated programs to be on those bulletin boards within schools. So that's really what that is. It's an effort of faith, it's an effort of good faith, showing the favoritism. Keep in mind with our branding, the things that we have immediate control on is where with liability, because sometimes when these fires come in, we don't know exactly what's going on at the event. That's really all that is. It is changing policies. So I
make a motion that we adopt policy for school affiliated materials on bulletin boards as presented. Do I have a second? Any discussion based on my explanation of the contents of the policy? Hearing no discussion, I make in favor of the policy. Unanimous.
All right. So our sponsor, Limestone Charter Association, reached out to us several weeks ago to let us know that the board should be looking at our instructional materials that we are ordering from the state this year. So you should have had in your drive a listing of the exact items that we are ordering from the state textbook dispensary. These aren't just things that we Googled and want to order. These are recommended by the State Department of South Carolina. They match the state standards, and they're from a set list of what we have to choose from. So I'm really here representing our instructional team. These are the materials that they've gone through for each subject at every grade level that they put on order. I do want to say these aren't comprehensive. These aren't the only things we're using. We're not only using 2 things in elementary school. Teachers, as you know, you have kids in here, bring in lots of outside worksheets, independent study, novel studies, things like that. But this is just one mistake that you guys have.
And as a side item, we've never voted on this in the past in all 6 years I've been here. So when they said to vote on it, my first reaction was, whoa, I didn't even know we voted on this. So this is our first time voting on this, as I was not aware that that was something the board voted on. And here's why. Because it's adopted by the state. These are the things that the state allows us to order, and the only thing they allow us to order is a sampling or a section of materials. We collaborate and go and figure out which one we want. I didn't think it was a board vote, so hopefully you haven't messed up too much. But
And this is the first time the board's voted since I started in 2000.
yeah,
So
so
we're a decade ago.
it's a new one.
I make a motion we adopt the recommended curriculum presented by second by Sam. Open for discussion. What you guys think?
I just want to understand. These, we only have to vote on the things that are ordered from the state, but not other instructional materials? Or-
From Limestone, our directive was before we are allowed to submit any state ordering through their system, it does have to come up in the April. So I would say it would be very difficult in general, like for me teaching eighth grade, which is what I teach, for you to approve every single novel that I was gonna do, and then when you maximize that into every other upper grades level, you'd be doing nothing but pages and pages of novel studies as a small example. So I'm thinking that they probably want you to vote on something that's directly tied to the state as a state. So but
Fair
we're
enough, that's just
researching.
kind of
It was new for us too. So,
odd. I mean, that's not very much stuff at all.
No.
Considering all the stuff.
No, it is just the same. So there's a difference between state adopted textbooks and curriculum-based, teacher-made, other assessments. This is just the whole state has said, hey, everyone, this is what we adopt and you can order, but you guys, according to this regulation, have to say yes, this is an order.
I have a problem with that. I was just wondering why there's confusion about it.
I think it doesn't, it's the part, there's a quarantine for 40 days up to 11 days, so the state that each district school board, especially the local board, what they didn't use of all construction materials. So the state's like this one, that's all construction materials. Versus districts.
it could be, I read that too as if a parent has a concern, let's say if we teach enough mice and men honors eighth grade, that would be a board concern. If they were to bring up a concern, like it wouldn't just be a teacher concern, it would be a student concern. I read it as that way too. But I would say we would be to consult back with Angel Malone and Limestone to get more specifics, since they were the one that gave us this as the first that we've ever had it for a decade. Because we definitely were surprised.
That's it, like
Yeah.
all of the keyword and that's it.
Yeah, and this was quoted directly from the
What changed, like, the reason for putting it in the past, like, what's changed? What was brought up in this?
The exact way it went down here was Ashley Gibbons, who used to work here, called or emailed me to say, hey, at your next board meeting, go ahead and vote on your textbook ordering authorization. I said, Ashley, we've never done that before. She said, well, let me check, because I don't remember that either. And then she went back to Angel, and Angel cited this citation that is in the state regs. That's how it went down. I'm happy to go back to Angel to ask more questions.
So I think probably we need to, like, we need to check, I think, and we'll put in a presentation, but also we can ask all the questions, for his interpretation, to make sure that.
And for the record, we did not receive an email like this last year or any other year. This is the first one. So, and it wasn't just to our schools, it also was in the Limestone School.
Nobody has any issue with the stuff that's in this list.
It'd be great if we could order
Just
it
be a big question.
Yeah,
so that we're
I
not
would agree
behind
with
in
that.
textbooks for the first day of school.
Yeah,
If they're open to these,
we should probably go ahead and take care of this.
that would be great.
I want to get back to this document.
So that'd be great, but we're happy like about to do like research, and connect back.
So I think we do need to do that, to your point, Sam, I don't think we have a reason to hold this up, we need to figure out the reality of whole lot of confusion.
Yeah, just clarification of chapter and section. So I didn't know how to present something. If we need to present something, first of all,
Right.
Actual instruction material.
Yes. Yes,
I'll bring that up, for May, so we can get some clarification. So then,
No, I think we're still gonna approve this. My motion still stands, so I would like us to still approve this as it stands, so that before those text votes. And then if we discover later that we need to go back and also approve the whole rest of the body of instructional material. So,
Do we need to change the wording of it says school affiliated versus state mandated? That is different.
This is a second. School, that was the last issue.
that was the
oh, I'm
last.
sorry, yeah, I'm sorry.
But it doesn't say that.
This,
So for clarification, Terry's motion is to adopt the recommended instructional materials as presented to us in the front.
and then as a separate powerful action, then
To the state, instructional
this list on the board of what materials are ordered.
Right, but that's the state approved list, it's not just the instructional material.
No,
It's
so,
the instructional materials that are made.
yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yes.
Okay, let me clarify. The state approved list is much larger than this. This is a sampling from the state approved list that our people voted on to adopt. So now we're taking this list that our people voted on to you to give your blessing and order the.
The regulation will need to be, the state of the list of instructional material from the state. So it's instructional material. So we're giving it a debate.
And my opinion is that's covered in the act of committee, that text is all in those presented. to the council. All the instructional materials are approved by South Carolina Department of Education. It's in the document.
How many is this specifically?
Eight.
Six.
Board item approval of instructional materials for continued documents.
Your motion is just to approve those eight, so we can go ahead and vote on them.
Once we have the proper instructions, those lines of the title and interpretation, we can address everything else. All right. Any further discussion on this item? If none, all in favor, please raise your hand. Right.
Just to clarify, Dr. Sandler, you guys are gonna reach out to Angel to find out about representation about all, all the organizations.
Yeah, I'll probably reach out to Ashley Gibbons first and then get clarification from their department, and then I'll, also do in Tyler.
All right, there's nothing in the chair report for this evening, nothing in the vice chair report for this evening. Madam Secretary. Everyone takes it.
I make a motion to approve last month's meeting minutes, which would be the two special law business meetings
Second. We'll hear from Justin. All in favor? It's been approved. All right, Madam Treasurer, what you got for our monthly update?
Still doing good. Current users, ratio. CPD thing, which is, it's starting to come through, and we're possibly see a small dip in our cash because of the invoices that are starting to come through, but other than that, we're not concerned with that.
And we have no voting items over $7,500 for this month. Looking at.
No, nothing yet.
Next month. All right, we have no questions or comments on the agenda from the board members and no public comments. I make a motion at 6:30 that we enter executive session. Do I have a second? Second, Mr. Gordon, all in favor? We're now in executive session. Let's adjourn to Dr. Green.